In just under a week, the trade deadline will have passed, and we will be discussing what moves, if any, the Detroit Lions made at the trade deadline. And to be honest with you, there's no excuse. I believe they're going to do it beyond a shadow of a doubt. If we had to prioritize needs, it's going to be defensive line, probably cornerback, wide receiver now with the departure of Marvin Jones, and then I would say running back depth as well. And Brad Holmes has to make a move. Now, we saw Dan Campbell we heard him being on 97.1 The Ticket yesterday, saying that he didn't want to mess up the chemistry between his current players, and there was nobody that was worth that messing up chemistry. That could be a smoke screen, a little bit of a decoy to throw people off. But I understand what he's saying is that we're not going to trade for the wrong person. We're going to trade for the right person. So he didn't say we weren't going to make a trade. He said no trade is worth disrupting the chemistry that they already have. But if this person can come in and fit, that's a different story. And we're always looking for guys to fit this team. We know that. We've known that since Brad and Dan have taken over. But I'm going to share a stat with you that makes me believe beyond a shadow of a doubt that if Brad Holmes wants to win and he wants to compete to win and win it all, meaning go as deep as possible, he has to make a move, and specifically on the defensive line. I've already made a video saying that Chase Young was the guy, in my opinion, based off a number of things. And I'm going to say that defensive line help is a guarantee at the trade deadline if Brad Holmes does indeed want to win this season. This is coming from Colton Pouncey's Twitter. QB stat of the week, 9.42. After escaping pressure, Lamar Wilson's time to throw of 9.24 seconds on his 12-yard first quarter pass to Nelson Aguilar was the longest on a TD pass since week 14 of 2018 and the third longest in the NGS era since 2016. So this dude had almost 10 seconds to throw the football, and that was after escaping pressure. He had almost 10 seconds to throw the football. You know how he doesn't get 10 seconds? If he doesn't escape pressure. You know how he doesn't escape pressure? With defensive line, with the right people on the defensive line. Now, again, we drafted a person in the third round, and I'm not going to get off this. Somebody left in my comment section the other day about letting it go. I'm not going to let it go. You know why I'm not going to let it go? The same reason I didn't let Jamison Williams trading up to get him when we needed defense. I didn't let it go. This team needed players who can impact this team right away. And we traded up for a guy. Why would you trade up for a guy that doesn't immediately impact the team? We traded Guy St. Brown, 4th round pick, immediate impact, meaning he played right away. Broderick could be at least playing, especially knowing that we could use someone of his skill set in the middle. Right? So that leads me to believe, beyond a shadow of a doubt, that Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell are going to make a move at the trade deadline, going to be buyers. We have a prime opportunity here. The 49ers lost on Monday Night Football. The Minnesota Vikings are creeping up. All of a sudden, Justin Jefferson, he might want to come back. Right? But they beat the San Francisco 49ers, which made the Detroit Lions in second place in the NFC with a loss. You cannot get any better than that to lose and still win. It would have been, the only thing would have been better is we win, but that's a close second. We have an opportunity to be 6-2 heading into the bye week. Coming out of that bye week, playing a struggling Charger team. 6-2 heading into the bye week. There's a possibility that when we come out of the bye week, we could be first in the conference with the right set of things happening. And Minnesota, they're not done yet. I'm not nervous, but they're not done yet. And they're not even at full strength. Neither are we, right? But they could get rolling near the end. And don't forget that two of our last 3 games are against the Minnesota Vikings. In 14 days, we play them twice. One at home, one on the road. Now, people coming into my comment section asking about Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, rumors. I don't know. I hear the same thing you hear. I cannot confirm or deny that these things are true. I don't have an inside guy. I cannot tell you whether there's any proof to that. There's any sustainable evidence, right? I can't do that. So I appreciate you guys asking me, but I don't have any inside sources. All my stuff is based off of, I got a guy with a guy, and I barely bring out that information, okay? And I just use my own logic, and that's what this is, okay? But this is coming from Josina Anderson, and this was from yesterday. Says, meanwhile, it is my understanding that there are several identifiable teams that have both interest in trading for either Commanders defensive end Montez Sweat or Chase Young, and are willing to offer either a long-term deal ahead of free agency. Now, I know that we've heard some things that the Lions may not be interested in Chase Young, and I would say that that's dumb to me. That's dumb. Chase Young has 5 sacks. And again, we drafted a guy in the middle that you can put in. Help. We need some edge containment as well. We need to close down this in the form of the edges, okay? But I'm not going to be mad if we get interior pressure as well, okay? I don't know if Charles Harris can be that guy, if Romeo can be that guy opposite Hutch. I have no idea. But what good is it going to be if one side is contained by Hutchinson, the other side is wide open, the middle starts to, whatever side Hutchinson is not on, they just go that way. Easier said than done, right? But still, we have Broderick Martin to put in the middle. And I'm not going to get off that train until we put him in. We gave up draft capital for him. Why would we give up more for a person that plays his exact same position when it's obvious that we have no edge help, defensive edge, not defensive tackle? We got Bugs. We've got Levi, who is a healthy scratch. We have Josh Pascal. We've got Aleem McNeil. I mean, we have some DTs. And again, one that has not dressed in the regular season. So if I'm picking anybody, it's going to be a defensive end. And I've already, like I said, made my video on why I thought it would be Chase Young. Both of these guys need a deal when they come here. Now, Jonathan Allen, the source of everybody's attention, he's already locked up for the next 2 years after this. So we would have him for 2.5 years. He's also 29. Okay? 28, 29, somewhere around there. 3 sacks on the season. That stat that we read, almost 10 seconds. No cornerback is going to cover for 10 seconds. No cornerback is going to cover for 10 seconds. 10 seconds is unacceptable. This tells me if Brad Holmes wants to win, he wants the Detroit Lions to be taken seriously, he needs to trade for a defensive player, namely on a defensive line. It's going to show me a lot what he does in 5 days. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you think Brad Holmes will make a move? And how would you feel if he doesn't? You know them t-shirts that they wear, the Lions that say salty? I'm going to feel salty. It's not that I don't trust Brad, but I can also question him as well. So, Brad Holmes, you know what you have to do. So do it. Do it. Bring a game changer to this team. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions.